Oh, hi, this is the Carol Everett Healing Sanctuary, which is based in Spain and now a sacred site. And what we're aiming to do is just to bring a few experiences, past, present, and hopefully what will be the futuristic things that we're going to do from the sanctuary. It's all about, the base of it all is the power of the mind, helping you to get into a more positive place with the higher energies and using that, meditating in the healing sanctuary remotely, of course. I don't want you turning up at the door, but remotely. And it's the power of the mind, all the different things that I have done with the power of my mind that sometimes people said, oh, you can't do this and you can't do that. No, I always say, if you really, really want to do something, give it a go. Don't promise, but give it a go. So we'll be covering different talks on the first one tonight. The topic tonight is cancer. And the next time we've got a few different things, but I don't want to confuse you now, but you'll be able to see what's coming up on my website. So joining tonight, my co-host, my long-term friend, my partner in crime. We've been through a lot together. Kim Mendez. Kim Mendez is highly successful in her own field, and she will explain some of the things she's done, but she's very much complementing what I do, because her empowerment of the mind is like me. It's keeping the flow going, and dancing, and with her acupuncture, with her other many talents that she's got. So between us, we're going to just have a chat really and tell you a few true stories that are absolutely true. Funny enough, I was on a documentary a long time ago now, and it was called Beyond Chance. Things that can happen beyond chance, the chances of that happening more than once, the chances of that happening 5 times. Well, try the chances of that happen so many times, I've run out. But that is true. It's true. That's what they say. This documentary series is all about what happens, the chances of somebody, like bumping into somebody that they haven't seen in 50 years. It's all synchronicity, all these things, and amazing what they call miracles. I'm not really into too much of the miracle thing. I'm more into the positive of your mind and where you reach with it. That's the secret. That's the key. How far can we push that mind out? How far can we make it go, and how far can we connect? And it's amazing, really. You start off on a pretty low level, really, but it's like anything. It's like, Kim would tell you, dancing. I bet you have some people. Are you coming in now, Kim?
Yeah, come here.
Oh, you are there. Can we see you? I can see you, but I don't know if everybody else can see you.
Well, that's okay.
But everybody see Kim. So anyway, Kim, when did we first come in contact with one another? You heard of me first, didn't you?
Yes, that's right. I had in my room at Pineapple, where I have my complementary medicine therapy room, someone came in, and she had breast cancer and had gone to Exeter to see you. And the way she was talking about you and the way you have been healing her, I thought, my God, I've got to get this woman's number. And then she left. She came a couple of times, and I remember one intriguing thing that we used to draw angels on the wall, and I thought, gosh, this woman sounds fantastic. There was one little, but she had been helped so much by your healing, and every time she came to see me, and she'd been to see you, she was better and better. So finally, also worked at the Hale Clinic, And I remember someone came along there, and I mentioned your name because they had also a cancer condition and they weren't doing so well. So I mentioned your name to them, and they rang you. I still hadn't spoken to you. They rang you, and I think they had 5 sessions of 1 hour each every day. And then they went for their scan, and I mean, practically all the tumors had disappeared. I mean, miraculous. But then that happened to another patient, came to see the Hale, and you did the same thing every day, 1 hour. They would be sleeping in their home, and you would be in your home in Exeter then, and you'd be beaming the healing to them. And it would always be 5 consecutive days, then you would give the healing. So finally, I don't know how it was, I think I rang you, and you said, we were on the phone for hours, I remember. And you said, we're going to work together. I thought, God, I don't even know this woman. And that was the baptism. Yeah, that was how I first I had the proof of, what would I need proof? I mean, I could just see this healing going on by seeing the patients afterwards. And then finally we spoke, and we've been speaking ever since.
Because the topic tonight is about cancer, the different, you've been working in private clinics, haven't you, for a long time now? I mean, we don't mention the name of the clinics, or, well,
Actually,
yeah,
Oh,
but and you've seen all the different really, really expensive treatments that people have had, haven't you?
yes.
And not wanting to, we don't want to, this is not talking about running anybody down or anything like that. This
No.
is just saying things truthfully as they are. I
Yes.
remember the one that you were talking about now. The one that you were talking about, I think had unless it was another one, but she had a tumor. She'd had it in her breast, and then it went to her back,
Yes.
and
Because it often metastasized to the
yeah.
bones.
And then
Yes.
what happened was she didn't want to go through the orthodox treatments anymore because it
No.
made her so bad, and it came back.
Yes.
And so I said to her, I'm not going to work on you unless you're on holiday, because I can't work on anybody when they're stressed up.
Mm.
This is the thing again. This is all about how the healing comes in, keeping the flow going, keeping them relaxed. It's all really important,
Yes.
Anyway, when she went back for her scan, there was nothing on the spine. Do you remember that one
Yeah,
now?
yes, that was
Is
it.
it the same one?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
But you see, this is the thing. It's a series of events, it's a series of events that bring the body down to get it into the state that it's in for the tumor and the cancer to take over, isn't it?
Yes.
And so and so you must see it when you're working on people, when you do your not so much reflexology, but your acupuncture,
Yes.
and your massage.
Yes.
And don't forget, with the acupuncture, you actually can tell by, you take pulses and things. I don't understand all of that, but you
Yes.
can tell when they've gone up and when they've gone down, can't you?
Yes. In fact, nothing. A person can come in and tell you everything, what's wrong with them, but you don't really know anything until you've taken the pulses and seen the tongue. The tongue
Oh, the
tells you
tongue,
everything.
like the old doctors used to do years ago.
Well, yes, but on the tongue you can see the liver, the heart, the kidneys. You can see the state of the body, how big the tongue is, how small it is, if there's a coating. You can see the state of the body, yes. And then doubled with the pulses. Pulses might be very, like a guitar string, very tight, or they might be sort of, can hardly feel it, or thready, so you can feel it intermittently. All of that tells you what's going on in the body. And then with each organ, so it might be lung, stomach, kidney, or heart, liver, kidney, depends on which pulse, which wrist you're taking. So I think in the olden days, I always think they didn't have all these MRI scans, and they had to observe the patient from afar. And so they had to see what was going on within by observing from outside. In fact, I've got a book where the physician is sitting a long way away from where the patient first comes in, how he knocks, how he comes into the room, how he walks towards the practitioner. Practitioner then says, "When did you start this problem with your gallbladder?" So all of that, detecting how he knocked, was he like or very soft? Was he timid or was he very brazen? Did he stomp towards him or did he very tentatively walk? All of that gives you an idea if it's an excess condition or deficient condition.
So,
And
you don't think that they do that now?
no, I find myself doing it on the tube sometimes, because you can look and observe just to keep your antennae, observing patient people and assuming that what might be going on with that particular person. But that side of things, I think we've lost a bit, which is a shame. And
Well, yes, I see what you mean, because one thing is, there again, everyone's rushing, aren't they? It's the
yeah,
time again.
yes,
I mean, how can a doctor, he doesn't even have time to see them come in and sit down. You see what I mean?
he's got a few minutes. I know. We have the speed of things.
This is why, I say, as much as you can, throw away the clock. But what, in your opinion, okay, then, in your professional opinion, what would you say to somebody if they just found out that they've got, a prognosis of an incurable cancer condition?
Yes, if catching it early, I think it's okay. Yes, and giving the acupuncture and keeping them bolstered, and also with the dance if they still able to do that. And but other than pass on to your sanctuary as well, where they can get the healing benefits there hugely, then but if it's gone on, if they come to me later on, then it is harder. Yes.
So would you recommend that people do a combination of the two, the same as I do? Go to the doctors, have your scans and have your blood test.
Exactly. That's exactly, because they probably are under that medication anyway, and we're already being observed by the doctor. But if they come to see me, then they're looking for something else apart from just that mainstream. So then you have a chance to look at them in a different way to find out what's going on underlyingly, and also perhaps how it started. When they go to the doctor, they're going with a diagnosis, but to find out the onset is always so interesting. Did a relative die, or did they have a trauma, or there's often something that kickstarts things off, and that's always interesting.
So not, it's this, we're still on the topic of cancer.
Yes.
I always say to people, like I expect you do, I never promise to cure anyone.
No.
But unleash what is inside themselves.
Yes.
It's funny, because I don't always get to hear the stories about how people have been helped, and then somebody else will come along and say, or I've been highly recommended by so and so, and I'll say, "Oh, how are they?" And they go, "Oh yes, they're amazing. They went for their scan and there was nothing there." And I'm thinking, oh, it would have been nice to know.
Oh, yes.
It would have been nice to know. But it's interesting how, the timing, it's all about the timing when you get them, where they are, how much treatment they've had, how much their immune system has been lowered.
Yes.
It's really, really difficult, don't you think?
Yeah.
When they've had real harsh treatments.
Yes, the immune system is everything, and that's why I think sometimes bad news we don't realize how that can deplete the immune system. You know, if like, say, the death of a relative or something, I'm thinking, in my own case, my mother, how, but not knowingly, I was depleted, but it's only with your help my immune system gathered strength again. But one doesn't realize how it's emotions, especially how emotions can affect the body.
And do you really think it helps when somebody turns around and says there's absolutely no cure?
Yeah, yes.
And you're going to die?
Yes. And yes.
You see, I'll tell you something now. I've been in this a long time, and I think now, I think I've earned the right not to do the one-to-ones. You've seen some of the stories, you get their immune system up so far where their platelets are too low. They can't do any more treatments because their platelets are too low, their body's too low, and then I help the body bring it up, help the immune system to help itself, and then they get stronger treatments.
Yeah. Oh, yes. Yes.
See what I mean?
Yes.
And so it's very, very awkward because I can't promise anything, but then neither can they.
No, no.
But I do think that the most important thing, whatever is going on, is to keep that flow in one way or another moving.
Yes.
Music, dancing, dancing, don't you? And it's not people that want to be ballerina of the year. It's people that have got a bit of this and a bit of that. And it makes them feel better again.
Yes. Yes. No, it's true. I had a patient who had, luckily got through the breast cancer much better. And so she then was coming to see me just to keep things topped up, but also obviously seeing the doctor. And then because my room is in a dance place, she heard the music and she said, how long would it take to be proficient at dance? And I said, well, it's not so much the end, it's the journey, it's just doing it. And so she's been to, well, ever since then, I've seen her in my little dance classes. I mean, through lockdown, I Zoomed a lot. And she was there. And so she's carried on with the dance and not had the treatments. And she's much better.
Well, you see, getting back to the power of the mind. It's all right, someone's fiddling with the mic, please. The power of the mind, the positive power of the mind, it works two ways, doesn't it?
Yes.
Somebody can make you feel so bad about yourself that in the end, you become that person.
Yes. It
Do you
takes
know
a lot of inner strength to just realize it's their opinion.
Yeah, and then somebody else sort of, they might just say something like, oh, you look good today, or and you think, oh yeah, and you do that, don't you? Do it to other people. It's very important, the communication with people, I think. And there is just not enough time anymore. No one's got the time to seem to spend to give out a few little words, don't you think?
I think often people think that if they say something good to you, it's going to take something away from them somehow. And I never know quite what that is. It's like I've just been on holiday, so feeling quite good, but I've got this little twingy knee. So people won't say, oh, you look good. They'll go, oh, is your knee all right?
I know. And I think, never mind about the knee. What about me? Do you think I look better? I know. Do you know, I love telling people they look good.
Yeah.
I don't tell them when they look bad. I just wait until they look better and I go, oh, you look better today. Do you know what I mean? What's the point? But I think getting back to bringing up the vibrations of people, helping them to get into a higher place so that they are able then to say the nice words rather
Yeah.
than, oh, you lost too much weight. You know that one.
Yeah.
Oh, haven't you retired yet? And you think, you know, why can't they just say, oh, it's amazing you're still working and you look so well and you're doing so much good.
Yes. Different way of
No,
phrasing.
you
Yes.
see what I mean?
Put down. Yes. But I think
It's
it makes them feel better.
because when somebody says, oh, haven't you retired yet? You should have retired years ago. It makes you think, oh God, what are they saying? I look all old and decrepit. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Isn't it?
Yes. So I think if we could do that for each other, then we would bounce off. It'd be higher and higher and higher. Because you look good.
Exactly. And
Look,
no
and yeah.
one's blowing smoke up anyone's anyone. If you know what I mean.
Yes.
And do you know what? What is it? If you see a little old lady and she's got a nice little dress on, nice colour, and you say, oh, what you
Yeah.
look lovely in that colour, and they go, you
Yes.
know,
They'd
so
obviously it made them feel good. Yeah.
yeah. And
Yes.
this is the thing, you see, and I think this is what, especially these days, that we need to focus on the things that help people feel
Yes.
better. And
Yes.
you know what? A lot of people, I mean, I've worked on, I don't even know, I've lost count, and I don't know how many you've seen. I don't know how many people that I have worked on with a prognosis where they've said, I just honestly don't remember now because I've worked all over the world. I
Yes.
mean, it's not unusual for me to get an email from somebody to say, oh, you helped my sister-in-law 30 years ago and she's still going strong.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
not unusual. I
Yeah.
mean, there's so many of them. I just can't remember now. But
Yes.
you know what? And they say, you know what? I say, have you been back to the doctors? They say, actually, you know what? I'm feeling really, really good. And I really don't want to go back unless I feel that I need to go back.
Yes.
And,
Yes.
because I think they're afraid that they're going to say, well, we're going to put you on treatments
Yeah.
that they don't want anyway. And there they are, 30 years later, going strong,
Yes.
recommending.
But I think that's another thing of human nature, that when they're feeling better, they don't think to then tell you that they're feeling better. They sort of go on.
Because they don't want to remember.
Yeah, maybe, yes,
They don't
yes.
want to, think about you even, because they don't even want to think about that time when they were so
Yes.
bad.
Yes, that's true. Yes.
Don't you think?
You're right. Yes.
So I
Yeah.
think really, what I would say, with the topic of cancer, try to bring it back to cancer, which uplifting people is really, really important. I mean, people have been known to laugh away cancer, and that is the truth. No,
Yes.
laughter.
Yes.
I mean, I've had people come to see me when I was working in England, and I'd have them on the bed, and Mike said, what were you laughing about? He said, that bloke's only been given 6 weeks to live. Because, well, he's heard all the worst, didn't he? Because what's the point of talking about anything else? And we're laughing away. And you know what? And I'm doing the healing, going off. I relax everybody,
Yeah.
go off, bring the energies down, focus on it. And then the guy goes back to the doctor who says, oh, off you go, then go and see her. And then he goes back, this particular one came over from the States with prostate cancer, went off and went back to the specialist who said, go on then, just, in other words, you're wasting your money, but off you go.
Good.
Long trip, you'll probably be lucky to make it. And the brother that went with this guy, he said, Carol, he said, I wish you'd have seen his face, the specialist. He goes, well, he said, go back to work. He goes, what's happened? I don't know where it's gone. And off he went to work. And I've heard that so many times.
Yeah.
And I think it's a combination of bringing the body up, getting them into a different time frame.
Yeah.
Obviously,
Yeah.
I'm not going to say that the healing isn't doing anything, because that would be meaningless. That means I'm sitting there meaningless, and it's not true. But I think working with it all together, and
Yes.
then following it up with, get yourself moving, get to the dance class,
Yes.
simple little things to keep the flow, the acupuncture,
Yes. And the
positive.
vibration of music alone is.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
I mean, I know somebody that just works with the gongs, the
Oh,
music,
yeah.
and the frequency. It's all
Yes.
about the frequencies. Well, from
Yes.
when I first started using the power of my mind, and I'm sure you're the same as well, from the time you started, I bet you just not the same person at all. You've got all this different stuff that you've collected, and that is it. This is
Yes.
why I call us the Baywatch girls.
Yes.
We've got the experience. We've got
Yes.
the experience, and
Yes.
experience is everything. Second-hand knowledge is nothing as good as first-hand experience,
No,
is it?
I think trips to China, because I always think it's my China phase while I was learning all the acupuncture. I went backwards and forwards 7 times in the end, but spending time and listening
With the
to
masters.
Chinese
With the
and
masters, aren't they?
yeah, exactly. Just thinking of the music, they would if someone was low or feeling a bit low, they'd put something not in Chinese terms, but like Scott Joplin type, and they would immediately change mood. And I found that often on the radio, if something's a bit sorrowful, you start thinking of all the sad things, whatever, and then suddenly it'll switch into something, Radio 3 or whatever, something happening. You think, oh, this is that, and then suddenly your whole mood changes just because it's changed.
I don't know if I did anybody that you knew with that actor guy. What did he have? He didn't. No, I mean, I know I've done loads of people that you've sent to me, recommended when they've been basically
Yes.
on the way. Hey, I've just that actor guy. He went on for years, didn't he? He had leukemia, didn't he? Something with his blood.
Oh yes.
You remember the one I'm on about because we're
Yes.
not.
Yeah.
And he went on for years, and I think
Yeah.
he got off with pneumonia, with COVID or something, didn't he?
I can't. Yes. But he did go on a long time.
I
Definitely.
know, because I
Yes.
didn't. You see, if it wasn't for you, I wouldn't get to hear a lot of these stories.
Yeah.
But the one of the funniest look. Nothing is funny when anyone's ill, but when you're dealing with sick people all the time, if you don't have a sense of humor, you would be sick
Yeah.
as well.
Yes. Yeah.
I remember the one that I was in the States, and you were treating somebody for acupuncture in one of the clinics that we won't mention the name.
Yeah.
I think you'd said to her before about coming to me, and they left it too late, didn't they?
Yeah.
Rather too late.
Yeah.
Very too late. I think she had one treatment, and it was one of the royal family. We won't say who
Yeah.
it was. And remember that she was on the machines, right? And they were waiting for the family to come down from Ireland
Yes.
here to talk before she died. And she was in a coma.
Yes.
And I was in the States. You hooked me up to the son, which we won't say his name. And he said, "Oh," I said, "I don't really know what I'm supposed to be doing." I goes, "Just leave me to get on with it." I said, "And watch." He said, "What do you mean?" I said, watch your mother."
Yeah.
And what happened? You were in the room, remember? And all the
Yeah.
machines, remember?
Yes.
What
Suddenly
happened? You
everything
saw it
berserk.
all.
Suddenly everything. The nurses were running around everywhere because the machines were just going berserk. Yeah. And
Because she was wired up, wasn't she? And as soon as I
yeah.
started like that, they all went.
Yeah. There's
And anyway, you said, "Oh, you didn't know what to do." And then, because you see, you were there, I was
yeah.
all right. I was in America. You were the one in the room. They told you to
Yes.
leave, didn't they?
Yes.
But before that, she sat up, didn't she?
She sat up and saw everybody. Yes.
she sat up, come out of her coma,
Yeah.
and I think she came out of the coma long enough to talk to all the family,
Yes.
wasn't it?
Yeah. That was it.
Because when you rang me, you were all sort of, you said, "Oh my God, Carol, I didn't know what to do." And I goes, "Look, calm down, let's dissect this." I
Yeah.
said, "Did she die while I was doing the healing?" "No." "Thank you." Right. I said, "Did we get a result? Could they see that something was happening?" "Yes."
Yeah.
Came out and was managed to see her family and talk to them, which was important, really.
Yes.
Think about it.
Yes.
And I said, "What else could I have done with the vicar
Yeah.
there?"
Yeah.
Basically,
That's
I
right.
said,
Yes.
"So let's look at it this way, Kim. It was as successful as it could have been."
Yes.
Anyway,
She's such a
then afterwards, he
lady.
said to you,
Yeah.
didn't he? He said to you, the guy, the son,
Yes.
he said, "I realised," he said, "afterwards that I'd witnessed a phenomena," and he wanted to meet me. Remember, he said, "When I went to London,"
Yes. That's
he,
right.
he said, "I
Yeah.
would like to meet you."
Yeah.
And that is what I'm saying. You can only work and do so much with where that person is,
Yes. No. Yes. It's true. Exactly.
you know,
Yeah.
and the best you can
It
in
was.
those
Yeah.
circumstances. And so, if you think about it, to get to talk to her family before
Yeah.
she died, it was a phenomena.
Yes.
I mean, she was on enough morphine to kill a horse.
Such
You
a
know,
lovely. Yes. That's right. Yes.
so I think, when people expect miracles, like when they use the word miracles, you can't create, well, it is a sort of different miracle, but you can't possibly get that person when they're in that state
Yeah.
off of the bed and down to, well, actually, I have got people off of the bed and down to the shops, but that's another story. It was her time to go.
Yes.
Everything was shutting down, wasn't it?
Yes. It was. Yes. And
So
one more
we love,
opposite. But you can't fight what's intended as well. I suppose.
no, and you can't fight
Yeah.
lethal dosages of
Yeah.
morphine either.
No.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
There's a limit. So I think what I would say to people, um, you know, get yourself a little team together. Get something that works for you, a simple little team. And if somebody says, "Go home and put your life in order," go home and put your life in order. But
Yes.
don't think that there isn't other things to do.
Yes.
I tell you what, the number of people that I've heard that have gone back to put their life in order, and one of them is still going from when I was in the States 25 years ago. Go
Oh yeah.
home, sort your life out.
Yes.
And so they go home and they think, right, sort my life out. I'm going to forget about it now.
Yes. But that's what you say. Sort you like, and then concentrate on living.
Yeah, have a bit of fun, have a laugh,
Yeah.
and it is really the mindset. Really, the mindset is so important. And this is why I think it's so important who you talk to and who you mix with. I mean,
Yes.
I know some people would like to go to these groups where everyone's sitting there, talking and with no hair and on the last legs. But
Yeah.
I think no. Me personally, I'd rather
Yes.
go where there's light.
Yes. Yes. A pub. There's
Yeah,
something.
yeah, while there's still something left.
Yes.
Because the tomorrow's world medicine, of course, what I'm into, isn't geared up for where we are today.
Yes. That's
The
also.
bodies have already been pumped through. They've already reached a point where tomorrow's world medicine can only do so much. Where
Yes.
in tomorrow's world, the bodies are not in that state when they start.
Yes.
You see what I
That's,
mean?
that's,
We've
yeah.
evolved. We've evolved into such a position that we are not right down there. we don't get all these different things, and we're not on all these medications. It's all about light frequencies and healing on another level. I don't even know if they call it healing. They probably just think it's a, a way of life. I mean, like, look at us now with the solar. Who would ever thought that people would be generating electricity from the sun?
Yes,
The
yes,
power. Look at the
yes,
power and the energy in the sun. Look
yeah,
at the power and the energy in the elements. And I think it's going to go back to that again.
yeah. So the moon had such
My
a strong moon
CD,
the other.
with
Yeah,
my CD, meditating with the, with the elements, the earth, the sea, the sun, get yourself out there.
yes,
And I think it will go back to that again.
yeah, yeah,
The energy in the sea, the energy out there, and we'll talk about it another time, where the alien, where the aliens are, we call
yes,
them aliens, but they call us aliens.
yes. Well, but we don't know each other. I mean, even in the world, China thought they were the Middle Kingdom and the only country. Then we
Yeah,
thought we're the only. Each country thought they were the only country until we now
exactly.
live a globe. Yeah,
Yeah, this is what I mean. And when you go forward, we see that there is the universe, is our universe, and there are all these parallel universes,
yes. We can't
and
think
they
we're the only people. It's ridiculous.
all
Yeah,
got different life forces on them, all got different sources that generate in them everything. I mean, it's
yes,
fascinating. I think being born before your time, like, with the blood work, which we'll talk about another time, which is
yes,
very much part of my anti-aging thing.
yes.
But the blood work, when I first started doing the blood work, everyone said, oh God, you can't do that, you're going to kill people. And just finishing off with the cancer thing, I took the doctor that I was working with at the time, a cancer specialist in London, took the blood out of this woman. She was so ill, there was hardly any blood there. She got so many tumors, and she'd got one on her arm.
Right.
And I never promise anything. I don't.
No.
No, because I don't know.
Yeah,
Anyway,
no.
I said, look, we're focused on that. And the specialist at the time said, you haven't promised her anything, have you? He said, we've got a very sick woman in here. I said, no, I haven't. She wants to give it a go. Nothing else has worked. She's
Yeah.
had all this chemo. She's as low as she can get. Anyway, he was really good. He took the blood out, give it me in a vial. I healed it. He injected it back. 6 weeks later, this is true, she skipped in there with no stick, and that tumor had gone.
Fantastic. God.
No, that is the truth. That is the truth.
Yes.
And,
Yes.
it's
But
really, really difficult though, because same thing again, she went back to the Bristol Cancer Centre, who couldn't treat her anymore because her platelets were so low, and we know the story.
yes. But there's so many people like that I've that you've helped. It's fantastic. With that, especially with injecting the blood back in after you've healed it. Yeah.
And taking the blood out with my mind is what you.
Right. That's it. Yes. That's what I
I
mean.
we've gone from not that bit, you've gone to seeing the bits where I take it out with my mind.
Yes. Yes.
Tumours that are really, really serious, that are broken off. The bits have disappeared, haven't they? We know who
Yeah.
we're talking about. And the really serious cancer, actually, there was a bit of controversy, wasn't there? One specialist said it had shrunk, the other one said,
Oh
but
yeah. Yeah.
they don't expect,
No. No.
they
That's
don't
right.
look, and they don't expect. They
Yes.
take the scans. In fact, I heard somebody else say it recently, they never shrink.
Mm. But
Not,
have you said when you're in Japan, when you had And you did.
In Japan, it shrunk. Mind you, it wasn't a big tumor. It was the early stages where
Yeah.
you could see where it was in
Yeah.
the ovaries, but they watched it.
Yes.
Their
Fantastic.
mouths were like,
Yeah.
but you see, the thing is, that was a real good test for me, but I can't shrink a solid mass in 10 minutes.
Mm.
She was 6 foot away. This one only, there's a word that they use, what they called it, explasia or something. And it was the early signs of cancer in the ovary, and it showed up on the scan. But even so, you could see it. You could
Yes.
see it there. It
Yeah.
hadn't formed in, it was there, and it was like little bits, you know what I mean? But not like a big
Yeah.
tumor.
Yes.
But it disappeared by the time I'd finished after 10 minutes.
Yeah. Fantastic. Gosh. Yes.
But, you know, and I phoned up afterwards to find out, because I wanted to know if she
Yeah.
was all right. Because the thing
Yeah.
is with TV, they do what they want to do, and then everybody's out of the room. They don't want to,
Yeah.
they don't
Yes.
anymore. Do you know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Yeah. Yes.
And I wanted to know. So I
Yeah.
rang up and they said because they were Japanese, I said, was she okay? And they said she became all right. You know,
I
that's
see.
how they talk. She became all
Yeah. Yeah.
right. She
Yeah.
stayed, she became all right.
Yeah.
Well, I hope everyone's enjoyed listening to this, because we haven't got a script, have we?
No. No. I've got no idea what it's this lovely chat.
But you know something though, we haven't got a chat, we haven't got a script rather, but we've got what's happened to us and what we've
Yes.
seen.
Yes. Yes. Going
We've
back
just
in
got, we've
memory.
just got the truth. And the
Yes.
truth is that things unexplained do happen. And I don't know why some things happen more than most, but then neither does anyone else. But
No.
I know one thing for sure, that sitting in the right place, the right vibrations, and being in that place and that energy, I call it the place of no time, you know, where I
Yeah.
go.
Yes.
It definitely helps. I don't tell anybody how old I am anymore, not because I'm ashamed of it. I'm not. I'm proud of how old I am. It's just that as soon as you say how old you are, they think you're ready for the dust heap,
Yeah.
like you're all dried up and wrinkly. Do you know what I mean?
That's why people always zoom into the unfortunately they zoom into the negative, and they shouldn't. They should go, God, you look fantastic, which you do.
Yeah, this is what I'm saying. So I don't say it anymore. When they say,
Yeah.
"Oh, how old are you?" and I go, I've got the latest thing that I do now. I go, "How old are you? You tell me first."
Oh.
Oh, and they go, "Oh, I'm older than you," and I think, I don't think you are. And then when they've told me, because I'm not going to tell you now, I say, "But I am older than you." Anyway, age. That's another thing. Age is a number.
Yes.
What you feel like, what you look like, whether you're happy or whether you're miserable, whether you're healthy, is the
Yeah.
most important thing.
It is. Exactly. Happy and health. Yes.
So anyway, Kim, your number will be underneath for people to see when it's on YouTube.
All right.
So if anyone wants to
Oh gosh.
join
Yeah.
your dance on, it's
Yes.
over on
In
the Zoom, isn't it?
on the Zoom. Well, only two now because of all bit back from lockdown, but in the studios. Yes.
Yeah. And your acupuncture, where
Yeah.
they can have help there. Me,
Yes.
what I'm offering is the sanctuary, the sacred site, which has been researched. It's a sacred site. So sacred site and meditation and healing in every day, even if it's only 10 minutes. People don't believe me. They say, what do you do with your skin? And I go, like you sit in there, don't you?
Yes.
And how many compliments have you had?
Yes, I do, but people are funny. They sort of look and smile, and then they look for the bad.
Yeah.
But anyway, they have said, you look well. They have, and
Yeah.
they've said, oh, what you've been doing, or
Yeah.
what cream have been using. Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, nice to talk to you, Kim.
Oh, lovely.
And I hope that anyone listening to this will be joining the next one, which is aliens.
Yeah.
Aliens are amongst us, communicating with us.
Yes.
I am absolutely sure.
Well, you
And
know.
I don't care now whether people think I'm mad or not. I don't care. That's
Yeah.
one thing, isn't it?
When
Once you get to a
they get
certain
old.
age, you don't care.
No.
Anyway, bye, Kim.
Oh, Carol, lovely. Thank you. Lovely to
Speak
speak.
again.
Thank
Bye,
you.
everybody. Hope you join us again for another little chit chat. All true stories and all backed up in the background, but we don't go into too much of the regimented. We're having a light-hearted
Yes.
to inspire and help you,
Yes.
isn't it?
Yeah, it is.
Okay.
Yes. Feel
Bye,
better.
everybody.